So for this video, I'm gonna do the Chapter 5 quiz. So there's a couple of big things that you need to remember for the first 6 questions here. So when I so it's a segment that's going 2 midpoints triangle. Remember that 2 times that mid segment is going to equal the parallel side. Okay. The other thing is, since I've got a mid segment running through my triangle, that mid segment I just kind of mentioned was parallel sides, and because of that, that means I'm going to respond to congruent. So there's 2 things looking at here. So for this first one, I got 2 times it's 2x plus 1. That's going to equal my side that it's parallel to is 18. When I distribute 4x plus 2 equals 18. 4x is going to be 6. When I subtract the 2, x is going to be 4 by 4 in both. Okay. My mid segment is 3x. My parallel side is 4x plus 20. So I've got 2 times segment equals the side that it's parallel to. So I've got 6x, 4x plus 20. When I subtract 4, I get 2x, 20. X is going to be 10. For number 3 here, so we got my mid segment of DF is parallel to one of the sides, and the one it's parallel to is here. It's running the same direction. For the next one, we've got my parallel side is equal to 2 times the mid. So I've got AC, let me highlight, is parallel to the mid segment D. So that means twice the mid segment, twice of D. Going to be the AC, the parallel. For number 5, I've got my angle DBE. And since I've got my parallel lines here, I've got my corresponding angles that are going to be congruent. So I could have had either angle D here. So remember, correspondings are congruent, or they're going to be. Or, oops, I messed this. Excuse me, I wrote the wrong. Ignore that line. So I've got BE. B is where the bed angle is. So correspondings, I'm going to eat this angle ADF, or the other corresponds to it and be this one at FEC. Okay. For number 6 here, so the perimeter of D, that outside triangle, is 46. Wouldn't sit the perimeter of DE has half of that, because remember, my mid segments are half as big as the parallel sides. So since I know that, then all I've got to do is add 3x plus 2, that's one of the sides, 4x minus side, and minus 3 to my of 23. Okay, so when I come to terms, I've got 4x and 6x, 13x plus 2 minus 3 is 3. So 13x is going to be 6, 4x is going to be 2. For number 7, so I've got triangle L. The 3 interior I have to add to equal 180. Okay, we've got 8x plus 5x, 9 is going to be 22x plus 1, 5 minus 2 is going to be plus 4. That's going to equal 180 because the interior of a triangle add up to be. So I've got 22x is 176. My x is just going to be 8. Yeah. So when I go to plug that in, I've got 8 plus gets me 65. For angle M, 5 times 8, 5 gets me to 45. And then O here, 9 times 8, 70, 72. Minus 2 gets me to 7. So I'm going for just the smallest. So my largest side is opposite largest angle. Okay, so if I do angles from largest to smallest, my largest was O, my next was L, and my smallest was angle. For my sides, side opposite of O is going to be L. Opposite of angle L is OM. And the side opposite of angle M is going to be LO. For it to find, it's possible to have a triangle, add smallest to be bigger than the least. Don't worry about it. So I've got 5, 10 is 50 and is bigger than the out of 14, so it's going to be 7 and is 11. Those are my two smallest. They note to be bigger, and they are not because they are equal. If it was like 12, then it would work out. If it was 10 or 11, nope, not going to work out. Too small. 4 here, 9 plus this 21 is bigger than 20. Yeah, triangle. For 9, I need to find range. So remember, x is between 2. So the lower, subtract them. I get 7. When I add them, I get 19. So x has to be in between 7 and 19. It cannot equal those. For here, it says the perimeter is 6. On that missing side, I've got 11, 15, plus is going to be 36. So my missing side is going to be 10. So to do least to greatest, my smallest side, which is 10, opposite my smallest angle, which is A. My next is going to be opposite my next smallest angle, which is angle C. And the last angle, angle B, is my biggest. For the one, my interior angles add up to be 180. So that missing is 104 degrees. So they want sides from least to greatest. Small is 36, so opposite of that, M. My next angle is L, so my next smallest side is MN. Finally, my largest angle is 4. From that is my side, LN. On the back, so the flow is from Bristol, Roanoke. We'll put Bristol down here. Is 106. Crow flies just means a sun. Okay. And then from Martinsville to Bristol, so I'll put Martinsville over here, is 82. And we've got to figure out what's possible for the distance from Roanoke to Martinsville. So when I say inequality, again, I'm given two sides. So 16 minus 82 means 60 miles, and then 146 plus 82 is going to get me to 220 miles. So for my range, that side in between 64 and 28, equal to those two numbers. For 13 side, I'm going to first label these from, we'll say least to greatest here. So if I look at triangle ABC, I'm actually trying to find the longest side. So I need to put the longest side of AB. Looking at this triangle ABC, my longest side would be AC. Okay. So of that first triangle ABC, AC is the biggest. If I look at triangle ACD, I've got a 50 and an 85, so it's a 135, which last angle is 40. Look at triangle CD, and I go to grade. My smallest side AC, next side would be CD, and then my side would be AD. So when I compare these two triangles, this was the greatest. But if I look in the other one, AC wasn't the greatest still. I had something that was greater. The thing was AD. So AD is my longest overall two. 14, two links here, two pieces of 10. I need to find the range to see what's possible. So add those, and I get 8.2. I need to subtract them, and I get 1.4. So I need to find a timber between 1 and 8.2. There's only one option, the 8-foot length. All right, 14. We've 7. Subtract those, I get 2. 5 plus 7 is 12. So my length that is between 2 and 12 is going to be 5. Right, for the next, so these definitions, I believe it was page 12. Double checking my book here. So these were in a top diagram. It matches the diagram that I showed in class from my. Yep, it is page 312. Okay. So my end center, if you looked at page 312 of that diagram, you had to memorize kind of the diagrams here. So my end is where my angle sectors come together. Okay. So look, I need to look at which diagram has the lines cutting through angles, cutting angles in half. And look, the only thing that has the angles being cut in half. Okay. So my point P here is where my angle bisectors intersect. So that's my end center. Ortho center is where my two. So my altitudes have a right angle, but they're side in half. So I've got a right angle and it's going a point in the triangle. So if I look at A and C, I have right, but you'll note for A, this is the only one that has right and it's going through a point. It's going to C and making a right angle with the opposite side. Going through point B, making a right angle with the opposite side. So where my altitudes intersect is called the orthogonals. That was answer choice A. For the center, where I have per bisector. So remember, perpendicular means 90-degree angle. Bisector means that I'm cutting a side in half. So the only one that angles and the beam is C. And 19. If I look, it says point P, that's the centroid. The centroid, another word for that was like center of gravity, center of mass. So that's where my medians through. Medians are going from the points, another point angle. Okay, so from mid to the opposite in the triangle. From point to the opposite. And B, answer B. Okay. Make sure you've got diagrams memorized from page 12. Last three here. So I said a median. It's going to go from a midpoint through a point on the triangle, a verse. Only one from a midpoint. My only midpoint drawn on the triangle here is point B, these two congruent sides. So in this case, we're going to have B is my, because it's through a vertex of B triangle. Now it has rails that go through a vertex. So the only one that has a right angle and goes through a vertex, in this case it's A, is AF here. And then the last vector, the only thing cutting an angle in half, is going to be EC.